And we're back here. Let's see our trend quality and our trend persistence rates. Those are some interesting studies there. Let's go and pull that up. And let's see what that trend persistence rate is based on. And we know it has something to do with moving averages. And it looks like we've got our trend flex under here. Let's move that up with our trend periods. And there's a trend flex. That's an interesting move. And let's go check this out here on the weekly. Oof. And we've got a low here. I mean, there could be a genuine trend line right there. And of course in several other places about. But there's a few in there. We really see our trend period shoot up here on the weekly on 103,678, and the next it, 659,000 shares on the next week. 472 the next week, a little less, and 19 million. It blew up. So we really look at our trend periods here as a possible early entry signal. And it looks like you can certainly see some good swings with it. Now I'm still trying to see some use here. That would make me want to use that, say, more than any other. Moving average, indicator. Looks like we've got support.com. And they certainly do have some big waves out there, don't they? Let's see, our trend period's got it here. Looks like our trend flex kind of caught this first. Let's see if there's any relationship to trend periods, trend flex, and our noise balance. And there is a particular relationship you might notice here before a major trend change. All right. And here we go. So now we can start looking for where we see these big differences happen. Yeah, where they disagree. Okay, they disagree here. Price moves up. They disagree and price moves up. And we get a little crossover here too. That does seem to be a useful signal. When the trend flex crosses the persistence rate. Or vice versa. Okay. Let's check out Mitt here. Now this is one that came across the watch list. Seems like it had its big jump up. Alright, but let's see if the trend periods caught it on the weekly before it did. And it certainly did. Alright, on the weekly time frame it got it. And the noise balance got it. It looks like a low. It's not done. No, no, no. I don't think that one's done. Alright, see? This looks pretty good. And this little crossover signal here after a 52-week low would have made a really good signal. And when these two disagree is also a very good signal to give you a low. Okay? And let's see here. I don't know if I still have that scan. This could be it. Sure is. All right. So a watch list based on this trend noise period scan would give us the low, or where we would probably, see this low here. All right, so we'll just drop our trend quality right into our trend noise period scan, one that we've created. We being I being me. Okay. Although, this crossover here certainly did kind of foreshadow a big drop, did it not? Maybe this cross here foreshadows a big spike, as it did. Okay, from $1 to 11. Alright, so let's go back and look at some of our other watch lists here. We've got some gappers. And the yellow pages. That one does seem to be showing up on radar, doesn't it? Alright. Though this did seem to be the time to get in. Maybe right in here. And we did get some crossovers during that time too. Alright, so I need to maybe even make a little note of this trend flex and trend persistence rate Looks like we even have it set to hull, but that could be a really interesting study. And that'll go down in our little study ideas. Now let's stack some more info on top of itself. Let's try to confuse ourselves as much as possible. Okay. And I notice this is noise type linear. Let's check out that noise type squared. Let's watch the change here. Alright. And go. We may have to do that again. But we still see this low here. And we see this trend line respected all the way up. In a few places. Let's see. Let's go for... Let's check out Wern here. And let's just draw a little trend line up through there. We see just a bunch of noise and confusion through here. Things seem to, go with a little bit more harmony through here. So really, we may even take a contrarian's view on the trend noise periods, say on the weekly. And on this daily time frame, okay. This trend's down here. And we do catch it. All right? So this is catching many of the 52-week lows as well. And does it catch 52-week highs? Well, no, it doesn't. But if it were to catch a 52-week high, I would consider that to be a very big divergence. And let's go check out Tesla to see if such a divergence existed. It did not. Okay. Not that that one would be I was just looking for a comparison. There are many trend lines here on Tesla. Not all of these are necessary. This was more of just charting havoc. But it is really hypnotizing to look at, isn't it? You draw a Fibonacci on the whole candle. Then that might even set up your, price ranges, therefore lower, where you can just draw your Fibonacci from price range to price range, as you get your moves. Okay. And we may even be looking for particular 1, 2, 3, or 1 to 5, and then a 3 correction move, and then another 3 to 5 with a 3 correction move, and so on. Or that would be a zigzag pattern. Okay. So there's some gap up stocks there. Power Interrogations Inc. and Erie Tech Pharma. Okay, well this little trend line here, I mean, it was far out, but it sure did predict the future, didn't it? You know, so as we see a trend line like this, and then a big push down, you know, for a low to be created, okay? And our trend noise scan did catch it. So when we see a 52-week low in our trend noise scan, that could be a very good piece of information. All right, I do like that. Although they seem to be in disagreement, don't they? Let's move down to a different time frame here. Interesting. So the second this dropped below there, this spiked in price. Wow. But we can see here, check that trend line there. That was almost pretty predictable. And if it wasn't predictable from that one, it was predictable from this one. How about that? Look where that went through. Now maybe the rest of this spike was just a little pushing, but or maybe that spike could be predicted by that one. You see? It does kind of make it real, doesn't it? Yeah, they can, you know, throw an Andrews pitchfork from here to here, half sideways up into the air, and that makes it real. Alright, so let's see what else we've got here. We'll check out our Darvis boxes. We've strayed away from them for a while, and there was really no reason to. They were always very, very accurate. But we do have a modified Darvis box that we've been working with, so let's go ahead and write down some of these stocks here. CDNS, DNB, DOV, LINC, PH, PI, RADA, and SLAB. Let's check out Slab here. They've got about the biggest gain there, and maybe even possibly the biggest spread. That's a pretty wide spread there. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see if we get trapped in this wedge. And we get a little pop, per se. Although that one probably would have been a good candidate for the Fibonacci spiral. It seemed to lay out a nice center ring there, didn't it? All right. Let's check out RADA. This is RADA Electronics. We could go to our high, or let's see if we can find a familiar trend line. There we go. There's a familiar trend. All right, to our low, or maybe this low. This one's gonna have trouble moving. It's pretty trapped. Although it does have some real skyward possibilities. It certainly does have the trend lines reaching up that way. Alright, we've got pi. And this is kind of hitting a bit of a low, but yeah, this just might keep trending on up, though. Looks like earnings is over with. We'll see what trend lines we get trapped within, but looking for a breakout here around this area. Parker Hannafin. I don't know that I really like the way that that looks. Like in Educationa. Okay. I think this is in a bit of a corrective move here. I don't know that I want to play with it. Let's check this out on the weekly. Yeah, this might have a... it is in a corrective move. It's pushing down. Okay. Let's see if it finds the bottom of that corrective move and starts to trend back up on the weekly, but needs to look a little better. Let's see, what's this DOV, Dover Core. We had a Fibonacci here drawn, and it went way out of it. Okay, so I've been here before. And let's just see how it bounced off of those lines as we had it plotted. Okay. So this may even be one that's going to continue to run on up. This Dun and Bradstreet Holdings. Okay. Yeah, these are a lot of pin bars. I wouldn't touch that with your 10-foot pole. But maybe I'm wrong. It's got this little earnings thing coming up here, and they are starting to trend back up. So I suppose if they've shorted enough, they could let it go, and then start moving in the opposite direction. We certainly do have a trend line to be broken now, don't we? Right, and look at this little lonely wick here. That little hanger there. Maybe that's even a bat in the cave, possibly. Alright, let's see how this lines up with this. Alright, let's keep drawing some of those across here and see where they can line up and get some touches at. We can see these are accurate in many places across here. You know, these pin bars, they do make it slightly more confusing, but not impossible. Some of them are actually more helpful. But we do see the trajectory for this Dun and Bradstreet to have a very good season. Okay. Hitting this low here. If it is to break out of this, say, wedge formation here. It doesn't mean it will. But it is having a Darvis box signal, and that's a good thing. Alright, and we've got this Cadence Design Systems. Okay, we've been here before. And it looks like we are trying to break out of this here. Will it happen? Alright, let's see what we've got going right up through here. Basically through the middle.